This week, a Super Bowl snooze fest. Luca and Jimmy, they have new squads. They debuted. One-star rom-com. Rip reacts. It's a great podcast. Let's go, baby. One-star recruits. Let's go.
Rest in peace to the NFL season. It's now time for baseball. Pitchers and catchers report this week, DK. So I want every one-star listener to hurry on over to baseballism.com. Use the promo code Hurricanes90815-25. 20% off of all sales in February. Go back to the Long Beach Little League Miami Hurricanes. Support Little League. Support the kids. Baseballism.com. Hurricanes90815-25. Let's go.
Yo, 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 aloha, checking in at 181 pounds. Weight has been lost. I'm shredding again as I'm comfortable, Rip. I went to the Bay Area. I survived the Discovery Bay, California in-law visit, which usually is an easy 7-pound gain. I held back this weekend. Super Bowl weekend, baby. I was in control, and I'm here. Back in the studio, Portland, Oregon. Feeling good, man. Great episode, just me and you, my number one homie. To be honest, we get a lot of shit, Rip, when we do too many guests. Listeners like me and you. Let's just keep it real. We'll give the people what they want. They like Rip and DK talking about our hilarious lives.
Look, what we say all the time, we're one-stars, but not many people talk about their own one-star experiences. So we're trying to get that across to the listeners, make people more comfortable talking about their mishaps and their one-star moments every week. One star. We're here.
Yeah, we're here. We're here. Who cares? We're here. We're doing our thing. We'll just do a lazy river this week because Super Bowl, we'll talk about it a little bit. There's some things that hit me that I want to bring up with you, get your takes. And then we'll just go around a little lazy river of some topics that came up. It's a good sports week, though. It's the beginning of the trade deadline took over, the NBA trade deadline. The guys have landed. That is passed. The Super Bowl is here. Feels like a lot of almost sports anxiety rolled into one ball has been released, and we're free. We're going to flow with it. So we'll just flow, baby. The flow is on. We're all good. You look great, man. Are you eating Haribros? Are those Haribros that I see in your beautiful studio there?
I fresh out of CVS. I just got about a 6-ounce bag of Haribo rainbow worms. DK, I'm incentivizing my little league players to get to first base, maybe with a little Haribo. Right up your alley, man. I don't know if you ever had these rainbow worms before, but rainbow. There's 3 colors in each gummy worm. Can you give me at least one of the 3 flavors in these rainbow worms? There's 3 flavors in each worm. Give me one.
3 flavors in each room. Definitely strawberry, which is green. That throws a lot of people's off.
Sure, you're a Haribo expert too. If you go 3 for 3, like we might have to end this pod. There's no way you're getting 3. You might get another one, but strawberry's 1.
Yeah, strawberry's 1. Strawberry's 1. Haribo. Which Haribros are the worms?
Rainbow worms. 3 colors.
Rainbow worms. Okay. Strawberry. We're going lemon, lime, green. No, I'm sorry. Strawberry.
No, I'll
green.
give that to you. It's lemon. Lemon is
yep,
number 2.
Lemon. Take that back, and we're gonna fall directly into orange.
That is wrong. I knew there's no way you'd get the third one. It's something called black currant. Currant.
Black currant. You might have European gummies on your hands. It's impressive.
They're the only ones at CVS that don't have red dye number 40, which apparently puts plastic in your brain. So, not trying to mess with the kids too much, but yeah, we got rainbow worms on deck here.
I love Haribros. You were going a little like a Glenn Quagmire at first with candy at first base, creep style, and also shout out to just our fat generation. Does that really work, bro? When would you get a gummy in baseball? What are we doing?
Like all great ideas. This one is stolen from another coach last year. I think this guy was giving out like Skittles or something, probably Red Dye 3, giving his players cancer at first base. But we're going a little more mild. We got Haribo gummies to everyone who gets to first base this year. Let's go.
Just base hit, anything hit by pitch, you get a gummy immediately upon landing.
No, this is strictly hit by pitch because that can be a traumatic experience for kids, especially when you got fireballers throwing 50 miles an hour here at this level, and you take a ball to the chest or the ribs. It's not fun, but if you get to first base, you got to have something to look forward to. So hopefully these rainbow worms will do it for them.
Can't wait till this shit backfires in your face and one of your poor kids takes one in the face. It's gonna happen. Pause, but it's gonna happen, and then the gummy they can't chew, bro. You get hit, they be in the face. You have to do like something else, nicotine patch.
Oh, you're so 1990s, man. We got face masks in Little League, DK. Now you
Oh
can't
no
literally
shit. Okay,
cannot get hit in the mouth. So you're gonna be able to chew for sure. I'll tell you that. But
flop that
can you
worm between
walk?
the
I don't
face
know.
mask. Yeah. All right, all right. Shit, I love Haribros. Could just be my wreck of the week, dude. Good stuff. I have some right here. Sour. I went with the sour this time around. No sales tax in the state of Oregon at the convenience store. So it's so fun. A bag of Haribros are actually $3.50. And you pay the guy $3.50. 3 quid, 50 pence. Straight up. Nothing else. How fun is that? Is that exciting to anybody else? Is that just your boy?
I like that. I've been buying tickets online to events recently, Ticketmaster and a couple others. Everyone has fees these days, processing fees. It's nuts. But yeah, no sales tax. I love.
Oh yeah, I thought that was Biden's biggest thing in his last year of office was getting rid of those fees, and they're back. They're already back. What can you do? What can you do? Super Bowl, man. What was your situation? You do the house? You go to a party? What was your Super? We never talked about it.
We ended up at one of my son's best friend's house for a Super Bowl party, kind of a couple other families from his school, and yeah, the parents invited us, so kids plus adults. Good food, great food, barbecue, had all kinds of different. We had jerk chicken, we had some Filipino wings from one of the amateur chefs over there, and then
I
hot
like
dogs,
that.
hamburgers, mac and cheese. It was actually pretty amazing. I got to try it for the first time. I think this is only 2 weeks old, but apparently the Kelsey brothers have a beer. It's called Garage Beer, not Wreck of the Week, but it's kind of like a glorified Bud Light, I'd say, with like a $5 markup for a 6 pack. But the Chiefs were down by 30 in the third quarter, so I cracked one of those open. Didn't get a rally going, but yeah, honestly, like way too much for the price. Not good beer, but tried the Kelsey
Mm.
Brothers beer. One and done for me though. Have you ever heard of that?
A lot of football guys going beer. I mean, there's the athletic beers that you hear about, but Troy Aikman was pitching a beer over Super Bowl weekend. Kelsey Bros. I'm not a beer guy, so I'm not going to try it, but it makes sense to be the Super Bowl party. Was it sports? Were there sports guys? Did you have sports bros or was it nerds?
Some definitely some sports guys. Probably not as hardcore as us. Although huge controversy, DK. So many people, including some of the families there, had bought our Super Bowl squares. But I got so many questions about how Super Bowl squares work. And meanwhile, you're texting me. I think your exact text was, "How do I find out the scores of the Super Bowl squares?" We talk about this later, but it is baffling to me that people in their 30s and 40s have you never done Super Bowl Square? I know you're not a gambler, but it's not just you, by the way. It's lots of people have no idea how Super Bowl squares work. I thought this was a staple of American society.
A lot of people don't know and they do forget. I knew my text was where do I get the link? And I forgot that it was a thing that I logged into with my thing and all that. I forgot that portion of it. I'm so used to you working off Excel spreadsheets, to be honest with you, Rip, when I get stuff like this from you. But yeah, dude, last number. I mean, that's it. Last number. Look for your last number. Match it up. I mean, big winner. Let's break it. Let's tear it off. 2 tear offs, man. Big winner for your boy. Third quarter. Huge. If you listen back, I never win Super Bowl squares. Never, ever, ever. Big winner though. Shout out though to a couple Mexicali Rip. I do have a bit of a bone to pick with you in the payment and the Venmo. You want to hear it?
I sent your Venmo within 90 minutes after
Not
the
about payment.
what's the beef?
Enthusiasticness in the messaging. I noticed because I saw you lock it up quick to everybody. The other participants got exclamation points, got inside jokes. I think yours read SB Squares payout. Period.
Ooh, is that for public viewing? You can
Public
see all my
view.
messages? Oh
Public view.
boy.
It's like we're not even best friends. Fucking podcast hosts, and I'm looking at Rousey Ronda's 17 mom getting exclamation points. Congratulations there. I mean, now that it's coming together, though, I'm assuming people might have even been at the party you were at who got W's, Super Bowl square W's in person.
You know what? That's my fault. I wasn't aware that those are for public view. I will be more consistent in my messaging. I've gone down rabbit holes on Venmo transactions on other people's account just to laugh at some of the messages. I've seen messages like panties and undergarments and all kinds of crazy stuff that people put in there. I don't think people know that others
Well,
can
that's
see
the
this.
joke, Rip. Rip. The joke is that the homies do that. When you owe somebody $20 for lunch or something, you send it for a blowjob and whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know that joke.
You know that joke,
I
Rip.
thought my account was private. I'm gonna have to reassess
Public,
my my
I need
security
more
settings.
enthusiasm. I need you to match enthusiasm throughout your public Venmo displays, bro. I don't want to be the one with the least amount of enthusiasm. It felt like my money was less than, but I know it's not. I'm excited that I won, and I'm excited for our boy Rossi. He picked Rossi, Shooting Two Podcast. We will talk about it later in the show. Shooting Two Podcast co-host, though Rossi grabbed what? Tell my mom, Rip. Tell my mom the story. I love this one. An underdog story for the Super Bowl.
Stole it at the end. I honestly don't even remember I would think the final score was 40-22, but under 2 minutes left, I believe it was like 40-15 or 40-14. So whoever had those numbers thought it was wrapped up, that $250 prize for the final score. And Rossi swooped in with that touchdown and 2-point conversion. I don't even think Rossi was aware until we texted him. Guy's probably in like 25 Super Bowl squares pools, but yeah, Shooting Two Podcast, Andrew Rossi, $250. Hit him up.
Hit him up. Dude, he's about to have his second kid, and they just traded for Jimmy Butler. He's there in the Warriors organization. So you give him a break for not getting back, but dude, big W. And I think that was a text message that we're in together, which I encouraged them to get in. So maybe a little bit. Pay your boy. We'll put into the funds. We'll get it going for our next trip. But congratulations, good shit. Everybody's a winner except for people who sat around and watched this damn game. Really, I mean, it was a snooze fest. Eagles crushed the Chiefs so hard. I myself, by first quarter, I fell into a Zillow rabbit hole. Rip, you get down Venmo. I was in a Zillow rabbit hole. Somehow I ended up in Portland, Maine for about an hour and a half. Other side of the country. Beautiful. Looks like a foodie town. Looks amazing. Portland, Maine, though, that's how not locked in I became with this particular game. So kind of just a glorified scrimmage, especially even like the end, dude. Xavier Worthy, 200 yards, but those could have been grabs in training camp for all I care at that point in time. What the hell happened here, Rip, from the football side? Go ahead. Break it down for my mother. Football side. What happened here?
It's pretty simple. Defense wins championships. We saw that against Patrick Mahomes a few years ago when the Buccaneers just destroyed him in the Super Bowl and just sacked him all over the place. He had no time to throw. Kind of what happened here. The Eagles' defensive line just overwhelmed the Chiefs and was getting to Patrick Mahomes on almost every play. So, I mean, in the history books, I think this is going to be a very forgettable Super Bowl. It reminded me, I didn't even remember this Super Bowl from 2014, but I think this was the most lopsided score since the Seahawks Broncos Super Bowl, which the Seahawks apparently won 43-8 in 2014. I have no recollection of that Super Bowl. I don't know if you remember that, DK, but to me, that's how this Super Bowl is going to be remembered. It's super forgettable.
Yeah, the only guy who this is going to be burned into the memory banks of really is Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he can keep winning Super Bowls and he's going to still feel this one. First time I remember seeing this dude look bad, like Kyler Murray bad, Rip. Confused, out of sorts. And it's a defense and it's a front four. The craziest thing, you heard about the no blitz. No blitzing going on. This was front four work at a defensive line that just really hit the turbo button in the Super Bowl, played their best football at the right time. And we might have got the worst football from the Chiefs at the worst damn possible time. It was a bummer. I mean, historically, Rip, it was a blowout for viewership, though, which is kind of crazy. It was Super Bowl 59. So records were set, an average of 126 million viewers. So that's the most watch. So that's wild. Any guesses on why that number is so big? It peaked at 135.7 million viewers.
Man, I mean, just consumption is growing on all platforms. Cold weather, people staying inside. Kendrick Lamar, I have no idea. Maybe a combination of all those.
It's a little part of it. There's one sleeper, I think, in the mix that they're not going to talk about when they do stats like that and read shit off. Thanks, Winston, for those garbage stats there. Yeah, we had some star power. Obviously, we had the Taylor Swift crossover to like the rest of the world, which I think opened up some of even Europe and some of the rest of the world because you got Taylor Swift in there. Kendrick Lamar, probably still viewed by 133 million. That's surpassing, I think, Michael Jackson. Maybe in the 90s was the last performance with that size of people. Donald Trump, dude, this was an interesting stat. Didn't know this. First time a sitting president ever attended a Super Bowl. Added to the spectacle. Usually it's, I don't know. I don't even know why that hasn't been. That kind of made boggled my mind a little bit. But the sleeper in the room was streaming. The first time that they added streaming, Rip, you nailed it, bro. Fucking Fox's Tubi, all the streaming shit was measured in these numbers. So sleeper numbers are big. Football's bigger than ever. It was still fun. Was there a commercial that you loved? Was there a commercial that jumped out as number one draft pick for Rip?
The one that stands out to me was the creepiest one when you see Seal as literally a seal. I mean, that was just so corny and creepy to me. And just the fact that Seal is so desperate at this point. I mean, no one's heard his name in like 5 years, but to get on TV and turn yourself into a seal just for a payday, like selling out, but memorable and creepy all the same to me.
I think the name of the game is a sellout. The Jeep commercial with hell of Americana with Harrison Ford. And then what did I read this morning? Some piece. I don't know. Could be fake news, but the man owned two Teslas. Not even a Jeep driver. Two Teslas. Jesus, stand up Jesus. Boobs and Jesus are what jumped out at me as going all in. The bra and the boobs and the tested and all that stuff commercial. All good. Dunkin' Donuts, I didn't even get it. That shit ran way deeper than I had time for my small mind to comprehend what was happening with all those people. I know Ben Affleck was in it. Can you explain that to me? Did you fully get that one, the Dunkin' Donuts?
I missed that one. I think I was responding to people's texts asking me how Super Bowl squares work. So I think I missed that one.
What a puss. Well, where's I going with there? What else? Anything else from that game we want to talk about? We can move on. Keep this flow going. The Super Bowl was good for me though. I was back home in Portland. I had a flight. Save it. I'm still saving it because it's part of my one-star moment. I had a flight back. I got back by 1:30, enough time to get situated and watch the game. Thought I was going to lock in for a really good Chiefs victory. And like I said, I was looking at 4-bedroom townhouse combos in New Haberdashery, New Hampshire by the first quarter, man. So just a sleeper. Won't be remembered too much. I will remember more this whole last week in the Luka to Los Angeles. Luka getting traded. Holy shit, it has happened. He had his first press conference and he said, holy shit, there's a lot of people. Dude is having his LA moment. This is like yeah, bro, you're joining a like reality TV show of the world and a basketball team. And here we go. And then the debut was yesterday, Rip. It was pretty good. It lived up to the hype. Some things stood out for me, but it definitely lived up to the hype. Did you get in front of this game? It's must-see TV, Rip. Please tell me you got in front of this one.
I didn't watch a second. I think that though strategically they made his debut against the Jazz at home in LA, where it was almost a guaranteed win. So yeah, they were up by 30, I think, in the third quarter. But yeah, I mean, based off that game, it's looking good. He will mesh pretty seamlessly with LeBron and those guys, but no one's talking about that Mark Williams trade rescinded. So I don't know who the Lakers are going to have at center the rest of the year, but it's not going to be pretty. I'll tell you that much.
They'll have to find a guy. They got the bouncy kid right now from Gonzaga who played with the Pelicans. But dude, you're exactly right. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's definitely the storyline shifted. A couple of things that stood out. I'll throw at you here, Rip. LeBron texted Luka offering him control of the starting lineup intros. You didn't watch, but interesting. They showed the intros. It's funny with NBA games nowadays. They don't show the intros. Remember Chicago 1992, 93, 94, 95, Rip? They would always show the intros, right? With this correct memory?
I remember the Chicago Bulls guy. That guy was a legend. Legendary voice, cadence. Those
the
intros
Suns, they would show it on television. I think they go right to the announcers. I think they want to save that for game day experience. Maybe they leverage that for live audiences or whatever. But they showed this one because of this, dude. So LeBron texted him, offering him to have control over the starting lineup intros. So Is this kind of peak LeBron showing that he's like a benevolent king of LA? Or is this kind of a step to manipulate Luka into getting ready to do all the heavy lifting? What's the point of giving Luka control of the starting lineup? Was this the passing of the torch right here?
I think it's to be a good teammate. I mean, it's a nice gesture by LeBron. I think that he gave Luka, like Luka said, he gave him his moment. But we all know in the next game, it's going back to LeBron as the last intro. He's going to do his chalk thing and get the crowd hyped up. But a nice no, people can say a lot about LeBron, a lot of bad things, but one thing they can't say is that he's not a good teammate. Stuff like this he's done throughout his career. So I think it was a nice gesture by him.
Yeah, they made so many people better too on that team just in their moments together. Luka was coming back. He hasn't played since December 25th, so he was on a time restriction. It was nice, bro. He got the grand entrance. Actually, I mess with you, Rip, because in the post game they did ask Luke about this, and he promised to give the spot back to LeBron, which is the right move anyway. But eventually, it was nice. It was all nice. It was fun. You're right. It was kind of like a summer league game against this Jazz team, who just sometimes in these games, these opposing teams are like, we'll be the Washington Generals, tonight. And that it just lined up like that. So once again, I think I was back into some sort of Zillow rabbit hole again. God, I love real estate, Rip. I got a problem, bro. It's sports and real estate on my mind at all times. But that was fun. What else?
Don't look now. You see Bronny's been averaging like 25 in the G League. You think there's a spot for him on that Lakers roster going forward?
There's a spot for dads who want to take their family of four out to a game in the G League and go watch a Bron
no
hoop. Take it to El Segundo is what's
no
up.
joke. I was looking at tickets last week because I know the kids would love to see Bronny out there. Hey, the G League tickets are no longer cheap, especially if you're in LA and you're trying to see Bronny.
No shit. What's the
walk-in price?
The
walk-in price to get in the door price is like $55 for G League, DK. I remember back in the day we're getting in for $13.
There's only like 500 seats in that building though. Still value possibly. But yeah, you're right. $10, $10, $15 used to be good. Hey, products getting better, inflation. What do you want, dude? Come on, Rip. What do you want, bro? You're like the Mavs fans. You're salty. You're salty. Dude, not great. Real fast on the Mavs side. The trade piece, Anthony Davis, came out like a beast and then got injured and is out for a month. So mark that, Rip. Hold that thought. On top of it, the poor fans, dude, they held like almost a funeral service outside of the arena last night. And then they had fans doing the Fire Nico chants, getting kicked out of the arena yesterday. 5 or 6 people out of the arena. The Jumbotron would hit them for a fan engagement segment, and they would say the Fire Nico, and just like the Gestapo would come in and take them out of the building. Mavs fans, I feel terrible for you. They're protesting. I think they need a therapy session. I want to know what Mark Cuban really thinks. I want to know. I still want to know everything, and I'm just sorry, Mavs fans. I don't know what to say. Rip, what can you say to them? This is the worst fan. It's maybe similar to the Sacramento situation with the Maloof brothers, but that ended up working out, kind of, I suppose. Is this the worst fan shit on in the history of history?
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, there's been a lot of crazy stuff happening in the history of the NBA. I'm gonna try to put a positive spin on it because I still think that could be a better trade for the Mavs this year than it is for the Lakers. Not long term, obviously, because Luka's 7 years younger. But we all know that at some point in the season, AD is going to get hurt. It happens every single year. We just didn't think it would happen about 35 minutes into his Mavs career. And he was killing it. That's the thing is when the guy's healthy, he's a dominant force.
He was. Was that like one of your athletes though, Rip? Like a child athlete who just goes too hard in the beginning and is not measured. It's a marathon, not a race. Was it that, or was that it?
No, I think he clearly came back too early from that abdominal strain because he hurt it again. He probably needed another week or two to rest it. But things were exciting. He wanted to. I think he yelled into the camera, "I'm here!" Like he wanted to prove those doubters wrong that think that the Mavs got fleeced, and he still has a chance. I mean, but they need to tread water until the playoffs and then get him back healthy and see what happens. But hey, he's just bad luck for him, really.
Wild sitch. The whole thing in Dallas. Keep your eyes on it, man. I mean, I almost want to buy a Max. What jersey? Who's left on? Who's left on them? I'm not getting an Anthony Davis jersey. Rip. Give me an obscure Dallas Mavs.
I could see you in a Dinwiddie number 26, I think,
Oh, I
rocking that
really
up
don't
in
like him
Portland.
at all, man. Give me one more.
I mean, Derek Lively, who's also hurt, by the way, out for at least a month. I mean, the
It might
situation's
have to be
crazy
Max
down there.
Christie. It might have to be Max Christie, unfortunately. Sweet Lord. Dude, Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green. Jimmy Butler's thanking Draymond Green, Rip. Jimmy Butler has found his love for basketball in the Bay Area again. He's getting to the free throw line. He's giving Steph the break that he needs. Steph has been on fire. Looks like the Warriors got the dog that they needed so far. If any team that I've seen besides the Lakers actually did something where the wheel has been turned, they're going in another direction. It's early, but they're going in another direction. It's amazing what happiness does on a basketball court. You know, happiness and wanting to be there. Who knows how long it will last, but I'm cool with it. This should be interesting. What do you think, Rip? Jimmy Butler as a Warrior. You like? You likey?
It's hard not to like right now after just a couple games, but just a rejuvenated, motivated Jimmy Butler. Steph Curry already said he just makes things easier when he's out there on the floor. We'll see how long it lasts, but really, if it lasts just this season and the Warriors somehow contend for another title, I mean, it's a success. I know they got that guy for a couple more years after that, so who knows what'll happen, but right now it looks damn good after about a week.
NBA. It's a wild place, man. Wild place to be. Back to the NFL because we got Aaron Rodgers, middle of a midlife crisis. The Jets are moving on, Rip, from Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. I like to think I've nailed this dude's future. He's going to be a yoga instructor in Sedona. In my mind, I see it so well. That's a place we know, Rip. Come on. You know that fits so hard with him up there in a tank top, talking in that kind of Sedona voice. Maybe he'll pull a Brett Favre, keep tormenting the Jets for some time on another team. I have some landing spots that may make sense, but I think he's toast. I would love him to fall back into maybe a secondary role with a young player and back up where he might get in and then move into coaching or some shit. Where do you see Aaron Rodgers landing here, Rip? What do you like for him?
I think the perfect spot for him is in Las Vegas with the Raiders. The only problem I have is that because we're Aiden O'Connell. I mean, he can be better than him right now. I agree with you that he's toast, but he's not going to retire. That man needs the spotlight. He needs the attention, so he's going to hang on as long as he can. The only question I have is, are him and Devontae Adams a package deal? Because if they are, that's not happening in Las Vegas.
Hell no. Yeah, I was going to say you can cross them off the list. Maybe because of that, he keeps doing this package. And he even mentioned it recently where he'd like to still get out of it. You know, they need a quarterback. They have a lot of cap space. It makes sense. They got Tom Brady. Maybe he can convince them. The Steelers, another team, Rip, consistently mentioned they need a solid guy with Wilson not coming back. Tennessee Titans. Think about them. They have the number one pick in the draft. This is that situation that I'm thinking of. It's fun. It's a place that I can see him in that uniform doing that lifestyle. They have the number one draft and they could have Rodgers come in and mentor that pick. So food for thought, chew on that a little bit. The Saints, people have been talking about them. The Colts could be an option. This is another situation. They have to be, maybe they're unconvinced of Anthony Richardson. Maybe there's some Luka behind the scenes situation we don't know about. That's the safest place for Rodgers because I don't think he has to worry about playing outside and on a shitty, that's in the dome, safe. And then I think I got all my teams, Rip. What else? I had one more I was thinking of. Oh, Seattle in division. He would be maybe nasty with Metcalf and Jackson Smith and Jigba and Tyler Lockett. So those are my squads. What do you think?
I like the Titans one. I mean, that's a good one
it
because
makes sense, doesn't it? That you can see that uniform, him there kind of, and then coming in maybe winning 4 or 5 games and dragging that team to the playoffs and then rides into the sunset.
Yeah, and they could either use their first pick on a quarterback to kind of mentor under him for a year or two, or they could go differently and get an impact defensive player or something like that. So that might work out there.
Could work out, man. Super Bowl. So Eagles dynasty, we talked last week about why the money is not going to allow this to happen. They're going to have to figure some holes figure out some creative ways to sign a lot of these guys. And once you win Super Bowls, you become sexy for other teams too. Xavier Worthy, I talked about a little impressive. Super team though. You think the Eagles has it, Rip? It has the juice with what we saw in really a complete blowout. That defense playing that well. Was this a situation of a one game playing your best football, or is this a squad now with the Eagles that we think, holy shit, put them up? I mean, betting sites have the Eagles right back up there, but they're going to have to figure out a way to sign some guys back who are going to demand big money.
I think they're set up. They don't have many key free agents at this point. They're going to load back up with young players in the draft. They had a great draft last year with Cooper DeJean and a couple of those other guys. But I think you owe an apology to Nick Sirianni, DK. You beat him up over the past 4 or 5 months, like a lot of people. But that man is on top of the world now. And like you said, favorites to win it again next year.
I do, Rip. I'm sorry, Nick Sirianni. He played it cool, too, throughout this whole week. It was really nice seeing Patrick Mahomes get beat, man. It would have been nice seeing greatness, but it's also the same way where it was nice. And I love you, Rip. You're a little bit wrong about some of the free agents up there in Philly. Their best defenders, who we just talked about, who dominated this game, Brandon Graham, who was injured a lot, and Josh Sweat, who played huge. And then Mekhi Beckham, Zach Bond. That's a Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals. Baun, put it on your fucking list, dude. This guy's a baller. He might be retained. I mean, you got to try to re-sign him, but he really played up. And Isaiah Rodgers too, free agent. So they got some guys. We'll see. Super Bowl wise, do I have any other NFL stuff I want to talk about with you, Rip? I'm trying to go along this lazy river here with you. Brady, his broadcasting debut. What do we think? Was it a lot of people were saying he has a funny kind of like maybe an Ozempic face? He did a robot commercial that was good, and then I couldn't not stop seeing him as a robot. Did you enjoy it? You know, he did a pretty good job being empathetic in the second half, talking about his loss to the Giants and what that felt like. That was pretty good.
I think it was his best performance yet and on the biggest stage possible. I mean, looks wise, he looks like he's just trying to look younger all the time, which is probably not a good idea when you're getting older. It never really works out too well. But analysis wise, he's up there, man. There's not many people that can give the perspective that he can, being in all those Super Bowls, winning all those championships. And yeah, I mean, was he getting over $300 million on a 10-year deal from Fox? We're going to be seeing a lot more of him. So I think he's doing a good job.
It's hard to do a blowout, to commentate throughout a blowout too. That's like, they don't teach that in school. You don't get there till you get there, kind of, and you got to fight your way through it. So nothing better than to go back to real live case studies and dude was there. He's been in those shoes, and it worked. It worked. So kudos, man. Pretty chill. 1-star moment of the week. Let's hit it. Happens to everybody. Not everybody talks about it. We all have things that are just kind of shitty. Let's bring it to light, Rip. What's your 1-star moment?
Hey, we're 48 hours away from Valentine's, DK. Not only do I not have a gift, that's not my 1-star moment of the week. I'll figure something out over the next 2 days. But the real 1-star moment, my wife is super into water pressure coming out of the shower head. And right now we have 1-star water pressure. And my 1-star moment of the week is I don't know how to fix it. I got to get it fixed by Valentine's Day. So this is really a call to arms to all the 1-star listeners out there who are handymen and real guys who know how to fix stuff. I need some help in the next 48 hours on a quick fix on how to increase the water pressure in the shower. Do I need to take the thing apart and clean it out? Do I need to take the ring out of the pipe or unscrew that thing and put a hanger in there? I have no idea what I'm doing, but I need a real emergency fix here. So my 1-star moment of the week, DK, is just 1-star water pressure, and I have no idea how to fix it. Please send help ASAP.
My man's acting like we don't have Google, and I love every second of that because, dude, I have the same questions in the same situation, and I'm not going to even look it up. I think those are good ideas. Clean the shower head. Check the regulator, maybe. You ever go check that in your front yard?
I don't even know what that means. So that's why we need Seymour in here. We need
we got to get him in
AJ.
here. There's a thing that the city turns on and off with the water. Sometimes they lock it. Sometimes you don't. You can pop it open though when there's a turn where sometimes you can turn it up and you can get more PSI from that. I remember from back in the day. But yeah, I want to check it out, bro, without spending no more money. I don't want to have to buy a new pump, Seymour, or get a damn boosting system. Give me the tricks.
I'm telling you, if I can get this thing figured out in the next 2 days, I'll be the best Valentine in Long Beach and possibly the West Coast. My wife will be so happy if she wakes up and that thing's fixed.
Did you already try a new shower head? Just like a new one? Modern?
I don't want a trip to Lowe's, DK. If you can help me without a trip to Lowe's, if I can do this thing in house with existing materials, what I already have, I do have an old shower head. I'm gonna try to swap that one out, but I'm more likely to get water sprayed all over myself and all over the bathroom than to get it figured out. So I need help, guys.
Find that PSI, man. Let's get Rip to his PSI, okay? Get on it, Reddit/1star/Rip Reacts. Let's find it. 1 star moment of the week for me. Well, dude, so let me do the math here. Okay. So it's been 1,095 days since I last tasted the cheesy, crunchy perfection rip of a Taco Bell Crunchwrap Supreme. Okay, 3 years. It's an eternity.
I know where this is going.
You know, you can feel it. I mean, you feel it in my voice already. Anyway, so I basically floated into the Taco Bell after arriving back from the airport. And we're feeling good, wifey and I. It's been 3 years. We were on Kauai. We just haven't had it. And we're like, yeah, let's do it first. So we're gonna hit it. She just wanted a quesadilla. I said, I'm gonna get my thing. You know, perfectly folded tortillas, just all the stuff. What I got, Rip, 1 star. It was an abomination. Skimpier than what I remember. Messier. I felt like the cheese was just faker than ever, like finger paints. It felt like it was sad. It was just a sad thing. My fire sauce wasn't staying on it as well. I felt like it was rolling off quicker. I choked down about half of it, bro. I did my best to get half of it in. And that night, Rip, this was it. I my digestive system said no more, had a little takeover of my body. First porcelain throne session in my new kingdom of Diarrhea, in my new kingdom. So the Crunchwrap Rip, here it goes, the moment you've been waiting for. We're hanging it in the rafters. Put it up there. A monument to broken dreams, bro. Maybe I need an El Pollo Loco up here in my life if I want to eat fast Mexican food. And that's where it is. That's where it is. 1 star moment. Crunchy wrap. Hang it in the rafters for me.
Is that just a crunch wrap? Or are you saying all Taco Bell food items? Because you might want to widen your reach there and just include the whole damn restaurant at this point.
It's gonna pull back on options because that was a go-to. That was usually every session. I don't want to say no Taco Bell. I might still mess with a Mexican pizza, Rip. I still might get myself a cheese quesadilla, no green sauce. I mean, I always love some cinnamon twists. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to put the crunch wrap up there. It's just not a mixture. It's not a situation that I like anymore. Now, catch me driving in my car and I maybe need to eat something. I don't know. I'll think about it. But guess what? Accountability, because I do a fucking podcast every week. And if I put it in the rafters, I put it in the rafters. I've thought about eating Cheez-Its multiple times. I've actually bought Annie's cheese crackers, which suck ass, Rip, to stay away from eating Cheez-Its because I hung them in the rafters. I stay true to this shit.
Yeah, Annie's don't even hold a candle to Cheez-Its.
All of Annie's sucks.
Wow. See, I think it might be based in Portland.
Have you ever had the fruit snacks? It's like, I can't even explain it. It is not it. Okay. I'm over Annie's.
It's because they're healthier, man. They don't have red dye number 3 and all this.
Give me every nonsense. Week. I'm always happy at the grocery store. I'm always disappointed AF when those things enter my mouth goblin. All right, every time, bro. Every single time. But that's it. In the rafters, put it up there. Mark it down. I know I have Cheez-Its. I have Good Humor, ice cream bars,
drumsticks,
and now I'm putting the crunch wrap up there. 4 things in the rafters for me.
You're not the only American that's willing to blow a hole in his small intestine to eat fast food, though. I'll tell you, people do that stuff every week, and they know they're going to have diarrhea in the bathroom, and they do it every week. It's crazy.
It's a cleanse. They enjoy it. It's a part of being American. Yeah, so it's top three reasons to be American, bro. Blow out your toilet, man. One of those things. 1-star recommendations of the week. Go ahead, Rip, because I have a good one.
Mine is directly on the heels of last week because it clearly worked. And the recommendation of the week, it's simple. It's if you're not getting something happening that you want to happen, call out your friends in a public forum, DK. In the last 7 days after I called you out on this podcast for not donating to my Super Bowl squares, not only did you buy Super Bowl squares and win $50 on a Super Bowl square end of the third quarter, like you said, but this morning, breaking news, and thank you very much in advance. You already made a donation to both my kids in the Long Beach Little League Hit-a-thon. I'm done hitting you up for this year, by the way. It happens every spring. It will not happen again in 2025. I greatly appreciate your support, but if anyone out there needs money or support, not from DK, but from your friends, don't hesitate to call them out publicly because it clearly works. That's the recommendation of the week right there.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's the answer. Closed mouths don't get fed. The answer for everything. Yeah, I'm on top of it now. And I thank you for saying that, bro, because I did absolutely 1,000,000% have that thought this morning when the email came in, followed by the follow-up text. I said, holy shit, he's got to stop.
It's a weird thing to do, man. It's super awkward. But
you've done 3 in a row, I think, in 3 weeks in a row, it feels like, Rip.
Yeah, sometimes this podcast is starting to feel like a donation request for my little league team. So we got to stop. We got to get more guests on. I promise. After February, it's over with and done with.
It was a lot. It was intense. It was. I checked an email, then I got a text message on my phone, and then about 2 minutes later, you did the question mark on that question before I responded.
That is not true. That is not true. What do you got?
I had my heart palpitating. My whole heart was pumping. My friendship was on the fucking line here for another donation, Rip. Now I love your kiddos. I like the ones that have action involved in them versus the raw donations or the gambles. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I hit you up for the Apex Fun Run in December. I've got to stop, DK. I promise no more in 2025.
Remember when I didn't pay attention that well to the Fun Run a couple years back, and I think I donated $10, but I did $10 a lap, and and your kids thought I was a multimillionaire?
My kid was the talk of his school for 24 hours until you had to call and reverse that thing. I think you were on the hook for like $1,500.
Don't tell people that, Rip. Don't tell people I reversed that from a child, man.
What's your recommendation of the week, DK?
Recommendation of the week for me. So fun. Such a fun story. It's rom-com love at the Oakland airport with my friend and podcast buddy, Anik from the Shooting 2 podcast. Sunday morning, Super Bowl Sunday morning, we have a flight out of the Oakland airport. Flight is out at 9:45, something like that. I have 2 dogs. Wifey's there. We're waiting for our Alaska Airlines flight. As we're boarding, I'm in group B, as in boy, which good. Yeah, people know B, not bad. Guaranteed to get some overhead space for sure. And I ain't waiting around like the peons. But as I'm grabbing my bag to get up with the dogs, I look to my left and I see an Indian gentleman. Now I'm in the Oakland airport and there are tons of Indian and ethnic human beings all around me. So I tread lightly with my first glance, but I look over and I see somebody that I think I recognize, but I don't fully know. And my mind starts doing all of the thoughts of why this could not be the human that I think it is. So at first I think, holy shit, is that my podcasting friend, Anik? And then I think, what the hell would he be doing here on Sunday? Why would he be traveling without his family? Why would he be traveling to Portland on Super Bowl Sunday and not like during the week? That's not him. Then my mind says, DK, just say something anyway, just to make sure. This is all in my first glance, Rip. I'm walking you through all my thoughts, but I pull back because I've pulled back early in my life. I don't do as many things that could be embarrassing as I once did in my 20s, like go up to strangers and say who they are and they're not them. Happens. I'm batting 75% at being wrong at this game. So I think I'm going to be the adult. I'm just going to keep it moving. And that's probably not him. That would be crazy. It makes no sense. So I gather my bags. I go load group B like a pimp. I go and I do one look back because I could do one look back and I catch eyes and he catches eyes and slow motion hits and the music hits and he comes forward. And bro, we did a starting lineup quality DAP, NBA starting lineup, quality DAP, fucking clean, connected. The whole airport, which was probably like maybe 20 people, but it felt like 300, was like, holy shit, who's that? Like double superstar, fucking, whoa, who's that? Who's that? And it was so glorious. And then we sat down on the plane, Group B. He came by. He's in Group E, not baller at all. Group E, peasant level. Group E, and I gave him a fist pound on the way back. Fucking A, man. How long you staying over in Portland? He was over just 15 minutes, and then he's going to Austin, Texas, which is the stupidest layover I've ever heard of in my life. Anyway, my wife turns to me, and wifey says, who's that? I said, just somebody from just a podcast friend. And she looks over at me and she says, you have podcast friends? It's so cool. I said, hell yeah, that's cool.
Big time.
And I proceeded to put my AirPods in, listen to a little more podcasting because I'm a fucking podcast all over the place, podcast spree. And it just put a really big smile on my face to have a random podcast encounter with my buddy Onik from the Shooting Two podcast at the Oakland airport. And thank God I did the one last look back and we had our moment. And I'll always have that moment with you, my man. Rom-com love, homies, friends. We need more of them. It was amazing to know a person at the Oakland airport on Sunday morning of Super Bowl Sunday. That's it.
I love that you guys had that experience. I actually was fantasizing when I heard about that, because I've known these both Rossi and Onik for probably 4 years now, but I've never actually met them in person like you have. So I was fantasizing that my first meeting with them would be at an airport like that. So I'm putting it out into the universe. I hope it happens. But so what's your exact recommendation of the week? Just randomly run into somebody you know at an airport? That's not really possible for a lot of people.
Right. Thank you. Put a bow on this thing. My recommendation of the week is if you think you know somebody, get a good glance in, get a good go. And like Rip says, give it a go. Give it a go. Might just be that person that you think it is.
There we go. I like that. Okay. Thanks for clarifying that. And I know Onik is big in the Bay Area with the Shooting Two podcast. He's huge in Texas because that's where he grew up. But we need to try to figure out how to do this with some of our 5-star guests as well, DK. Can we run into a Tim Hardaway or a Hunter Yurachek in the airport? How do we make that happen? We need to make this a thing and happen every month, every time we fly.
It's manifesting. I'm manifesting it right now. I don't know if we'll get the same reaction from those guys as I will. I mean, Onik's been on the pod 5-6 times. I've been on his 5 or 6. We've done all kinds of. Well, who knows though? It's manifested. It's an amazing feeling. Nothing better. It's a reminder in this world that it's great to just have friends and run into people and to back how life used to be. You know, go to Amato's on Broadway in Tempe, run into 7 people that you know. We don't do that anymore with DoorDash. So get out.
I would love to see you try that look back at Adrian Peterson in the Dallas airport at DFW, and you just approach him and act like you know him from the pod 2 years ago, and he just punches you in the face, man. I would love to see that happen.
Just going for a fat dap, and he just punched me right in the stomach. I have the same memory. I want to get a big, or miss on the handshake. That's a nightmare too. I come in and do a different handshake in front of some people. Oh boy,
Evander Holyfield, man, come on, just like one last from the 65-year-old right in the nose.
Yeah, Jeff Van Gundy. I go for the full hug. He doesn't want it. We'll see. Rips Reacts. Hit the music. We hit a good lazy river, Rip. So these will be quick. We hit all my topics. I'm running out of topics. I've been traveling, bro. I've been doing rom-com love. It's been wild. Trae Young, though. Trae Young, he's backing into the All-Star game because Giannis got hurt. I'm going to say it right now, 1 stars. Trae Young will win the All-Star MVP. Rip, who's winning the All-Star MVP in the NBA right here? Put it up so some people can get some early bets in.
I'm not even sure there is an All-Star MVP. I watched an All-Star draft the other day on TNT where Shaq and Barkley and Kenny Smith are taking teams. It's like a 4-team tournament, G League Rising Stars. Mac McClung's going to win it, DK. He's going to win the dunk contest. He's going to win All-Star MVP. Right here, 1 star.
He's not in the All-Star game, though, Rip. There's All-Star. Give me one player. One player who's in the actual game.
That's where you don't understand the new format because he's part of the G League team that plays in the initial tournament. And if they win that first Rising Stars tournament, then they are the 4th team in the All-Star game. It's possible. It's a needle in a haystack, but Mac McClung could win All-Star MVP. You heard it here first.
What do you think Max has for a dunk? What dunk do you need to see? I can't even think of one that I need to see. 1080?
The only thing left to me is a full front flip, like the Phoenix Suns gorilla does on a trampoline, but not using a trampoline. I mean, if he can make that happen, he's gonna be.
That's crazy. I don't even know if that would be that impressive, but that is crazy because we've seen it so much off the trampoline, so it's not like hasn't been visually seen before. You know,
that would blow people's minds if someone did that without a trampoline. Are you kidding?
But we've seen that. Yeah, it would. Well, shit, get up in there. I think it's gonna be Mac, have something, because I'm very worried about this dunk contest. Jackson on the Bucks. It's just I'm concerned. The European dude on the Bulls, or it could be a sleeper. Hopefully, maybe it's a sleeper. I'm gonna watch, and that was a test, Rip. I was testing you on your knowledge of the current All-Star game. You passed with flying colors. I was trying to lead you into a trick question. Okay, 1 star, flipped it to a 5-star. Get with the All-Star game. Trae Young will not win MVP. Might just win. He just needs to shave his head. That's it. That's all when I think of that dude. Is just why does he keep doing hair?
Hey, he's leading the league in assists. Something's working right.
But you see his hair, right? Are we just all nobody's looking at this? No one wants to just tell him in his circle. He's that committed to that hair.
I'm looking at box scores and I see about 12 assists a game. I don't care what you look like if you're doing that.
God, the kicker for the Commanders wouldn't be having hair like that. I'll tell you that much. That's 100%. Dude, your favorite league, Rip, the MLS, laid off 5% of its staff. Minor bump in the road on their quest for world domination we've been hearing about from football, soccer fans for 10 years now. Is this a sign, Rip, that soccer can't escape the harsh reality that you've been preaching for years on this podcast, that people would basically rather watch paint dry, I suppose, than a 0-0 draw?
100%. I mean, soccer's been forced upon America for the past 20 years with no regard for any consequences. And I think you're starting to see the dominoes fall here. And I think people getting laid off is probably the first step. You'll probably see a couple MLS clubs, or they call them clubs in soccer, teams, clubs.
They had so much juice with Messi and with a couple of those squads for a minute, though. So the juice was going in the right way. The World Cup will bring it back. The World Cup's going to bring it back.
Maybe temporarily, but I mean, long term, soccer, you can't fix the fact that it's boring, just like hockey. I mean, their games are 1-0 and they end in a tie sometimes. Like, there's no fixing that, DK.
You think it's trash. Just in case we never talk about soccer again on this podcast, give me one real good Messi one time.
Goal for Messi! Messi!
Argentina. You've been working on that Argentinian dialect, Rip, for so long, and it's still so freaking terrible. Just probably the worst. Just the worst. Eagles, Super Bowl champions. The NFL always does a fun little game of the 2025. Now, the next year season opener will be super hyped. You know, a contender like the Commanders or one of those teams, or the NFL could throw it a bone and let the Eagles feast on maybe like the Bears or maybe a Cardinals. What's the NFL going to do? They're going to let the Eagles feast? Or are they going to set them up with a banger, Rip?
I saw the tweet from Adam Schefter the other night with the possible teams. I think the Cardinals are absolutely not one of the possible teams. The Bears were in there, like you said, but I narrowed it down to 2 out of the 10 that were possible, and on Thursday night opener in Philadelphia. And to me, it's either Commanders or Lions. It's probably going to be the Lions because of how well they did last year, and people love Dan Campbell, rightfully so. But yeah, that Commanders, Jaden Daniels on Thursday night, division rivalry there. That'd be a nice one, but I think it's going to be Eagles-Lions.
Shit, those all sound good. Those are good games now. Thank God the Commanders are good again. So fun. NFL, man, isn't it funny that the NFL is one of those sports here in America that just hasn't translated internationally, but is so fucking big here. We just love it, man. It's always a shame when it's over. It's a little bit of PTSD almost when it's over. Thank God we have the NBA. Sweeps right over. NBA, your boy Rip, A-Rod and Mark Lowry finally wrestled away control of those Minnesota Timberwolves from Glenn Taylor. So they got it, bro. So now that A-Rod and Lori are officially in charge of the Timberwolves, and we've seen this movie before with A-Rod down in Florida. We've seen this movie. So Rip, this new ownership group, ownership's everything. Jeffrey Lurie, shout out to the Lake Ups. Look what's happening down with the Bus family. This going to bring an NBA title to Minnesota, to St. Paul? Or is this just going to be a mess? Is this just going to, A-Rod's going to come in and start A-Rodding?
Yeah, on one hand, I want to say the celebrity ownership thing does not work, has never worked, and will never work. But on the other hand, I mean, the Minnesota Timberwolves have been around for almost 30 years now, and they have 0 titles to show for it. So there's only room to go up from here. I mean, they were in the Western Conference Finals last year. They have a good young team for the most part, but yeah, if you're a Timberwolves fan, you're just hoping that trajectory continues. They add a couple key pieces, but if it's a Phoenix Suns situation where it's a famous owner who's really rich and he wants to just spend money and make a splash, then it's not going to be good for the Timberwolves, because look what's going on in Phoenix right now.
It's starting to be a model. Follow the right model. Learn, owners. God, ownership, though, in pro sports, it is definitely an elite of the elite business, and it is wild how important it plays in success and unsuccess, if that's even a word. But shout out to the good owners. No, unshout out to the bad owners. Fucking Michael Bidwell. Stop harassing old lady assistants. Be fucking kind. That's the thing. You be kind and you put good people around you in the organization, then karma and the universe will do its thing, Mr. Bidwell. Be kind. Everybody be kind. I love you all. We'll see you guys next week.
Support us with 500level.com. Discount code DK and RIP at checkout for 20% off everything on the site. See you next week.
Peace.
Go baseball.